Hey, what's up, man? This is Eric calling. You're live on the Eric Michael
Oh,
Show.
hey, Eric. Hey, thanks for taking my call. Well, I wanted to let you know, my wife and we're fairly new collectors. We started in uh, September of last year,
Ooh,
2024. She inherited her dad's um, card collection.
yep.
He had a sporting goods store out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and
Nice.
he had an enormous collection of cards and a lot of other sports things
Uh-huh.
because he sold to the local high schools and a lot of Bengals and Red stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things that we did an inventory. We haven't opened up all the boxes quite yet, but we have found. I think we counted something close to 20 Kobe rookies and a
Oh,
bunch
wow.
of the old basketball. I know,
Yep.
and football, and baseball, and he has everything, hockey, and it's caused us to become interested. And so we started watching the YouTube shows and this and that, and collecting, and we found your channel, and we
Yes.
thought, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. He's making money with it. We don't want to just. I've heard the term "chase to zero" with the cards, and we want to make sure we're pricing them right. And also, my wife and I are looking at joining your program.
Yep.
But I had a question for you first. We have a lot of questions, but there's one that's really just nagging at us. And when we go onto Whatnot and we
Yep.
buy a card, or
Yep.
if we go into eBay, we when we get them, they just don't look that great. And we're thinking, how in the world can you screen them when you're looking at it? I've seen you look at the corners real quickly and look at the centering, but man, sometimes you just can't tell. And I get them in, and there's like a surface scratch or something, and I just get frustrated. And I wonder, is there a way that are we allowed to wipe them with a lint-free cloth and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
you are. You're just not you're technically not allowed to. One, you're not allowed to trim them for sure, right? I've seen people
Okay,
just slightly trim the corners and have gotten in big trouble. And yeah, you could just
right, right.
wipe it with like a microfiber cloth, but putting like substances on the surface to make it look better. I don't do it. It gets kind of dicey. But
Okay,
what is your to help you out and point you in the right direction? Because you said you had
sure.
this big collection
Yeah.
that you inherited, and now it got you into sports cards, and now your goal is to turn sports
Yes.
cards into some sort of side income. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of like this. We want to keep if we have any duplicates, we're willing to sell those of our old things. We've
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
cards that go back to the 1880s,
Oh
and
shit.
and then I know, but we have the great ones. I haven't opened up all the boxes, but we have stacks and stacks of these boxes that he had,
Okay.
and I think a lot of them are junk wax era. Which, by the way, there were some great cards in that era.
Yeah. Yeah. There
I'd
were.
like to say that, but a lot of them are not. But it also got us kind of hooked on. And my wife, she's been trying to build our inventory. We did a card show and we profited on our first one and just turned it around really good. She finds sparkle and prisms and donuts and all the other
Yeah.
cracked
Yeah.
ice and
Yeah.
all those fancy cards and are selling them, but we're also putting our duplicates out there. But the problem we're having is when we order on eBay or something, it comes in, I put it under the scope, the jewel loop, and it just I find scratches and all kinds of things, and I'm afraid to send them off to grade because I know they're not going to do well.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just kind of wish I had a better eye for that. And I didn't know, how do I get that better eye
Yeah.
before I buy them.
Okay. So goals to make an income, do it through grading sports cards. Um, okay.
Yes.
So it's no different than like even like in my program, if I were to sit down with you and literally show you these are the corners, edges, centering, surface, and you watch my videos, like even if I tell you how to do it, like even if I show you how to shoot a free throw, your elbow goes here, this is where you put your hand, you're still gonna suck until you've done it a bunch, right?
Yes.
That's just how it
Okay.
goes, right? So like actually
Yes.
in
All
your
right.
case, from what you're telling me, because the best and fastest way to learn is through someone actually helping you. Like if you've noticed on these podcasts I do, like I usually tell people
Yeah.
like don't join my program, but actually in your
Right.
case,
Right.
it will probably benefit you and help you a lot, and you're just paying for speed of success. So in your case, I would actually probably join for that because the question you have to and this is not me like I hate to come out here and start and sound like I'm freaking selling my program, but like
Sure.
you could either like do what I did. It took me like 3 years to like do sports cards every day, all day, and I finally like started making consistent income and I understood everything and how to look at cards and everything. Or you could just like pay someone. If you find someone else besides me, go pay them instead. If you want to pay them, and they just help you be successful right away because they have the years of experience under their belt. So, like, even if I were to sit down with you right now and show you things, you're still gonna stink because you just haven't done it a bunch.
All right.
Even me,
Got
like
it. Got it.
even me, like I would say, like only 8 to 9 out of 10, like 80 to 90% of the cards I buy that I actually get in, I send in for grading. Like I just got a card in like a few weeks ago. I'm not sending it in for grading because it has like a surface ding that's just too much. And I didn't see it. It's just hard to see. It's just part of the game. But what I would say on top of that
Mhm.
is if a card looks, this is my philosophy, if it even just like
Yeah.
looks like it could possibly grade a 10, goes in. If you have to think about it, send it in. Because the math makes total sense. So like if it just has like
All
one
right.
tiny dimple, send it in.
All right.
Yeah, you don't need
All
to like
right.
no card, very few cards are gonna be like perfect, where like you just wanna make sure like the corners are close to perfect, in the centering. But like a lot of
Mm.
cards have slight surface problems. Like to give you an example, the card I made the most amount of money on last year was a
Yeah.
2018 Atomic Bowman Chrome Shohei Ohtani. I actually bought it as a Beckett 9 and it looked really good. Like, and it had 8.5 edges. But I was looking at the edges in the card, and it looked good. And then I got the card
Yeah.
in, and the edge was screwed up. I was like, "There's no way this card's gonna grade a 10." But I paid
Right.
$9,700 for the card, and it was worth like
Mm.
11,000 at the time. So I was like, you know what? It's worth it for me to send it in. Let's see what happens. Even if it grades a 9, I'll make a little bit of money. And it graded a 10. And I
Yeah.
ended up making 20 something thousand on the card. So if you
Okay.
think it has a chance, it goes in because the math makes sense.
Okay.
But like
All right.
just know only if you're good, eight out of 10 cards you buy, you'll actually send it in for grading.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. So the practice makes perfect. Hey, my wife and I are going to be reaching out to you to help us with our next step. So I appreciate you and the program and your straight talk. And we're going to be talking with you about joining the program.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, the best way, just respond to like one of the text messages. I'm sure we've blown up your phone with text, so just
Yeah. Yeah.
respond to one of those. It's probably the best
All right.
place.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, thank you as well.
Take care.
Thanks for calling in.
Bye bye.
I like that guy. You can tell he's just excited about life. It's always nice to like get someone on the phone that's just like ton of energy instead of like, "Hey Eric, how's it going? I gotta do this, I gotta do that." I do have to go. I do have to end this, unfortunately. Any other questions? Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We try to go live. If we change up the time, we'll email everybody. But almost every single Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we go live. If you are watching this on YouTube on the replay, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.